Hello. I made it. I'm here. Okay, let's see. Stop cam. There we go. This is me. So I just ran in from the gym. It's always a late night session at the gym, and I have to pee. So, all right, I gotta pull up the video files that we're gonna use for tonight, wherever they are. Wherever they are. I have no idea where they are. So I see like 2 people are here. That's cool. I appreciate it. And let's take. I've done that one. Have I done this one? I gotta mute it.
Michaela was driving her Volkswagen Golf down a highway.
Actually, we don't want that one. I just really have to pee. That's all. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this. Remove, and I think I have a video file. Click. Great. Now I'm totally disorganized. Talk about ADHD slapdash at the last second stuff. I'm looking for the orange peel. That's what I'm looking for. Hey, Crazy Mad, how you doing? Glad you're here. And orange peel raw. Raw footage. I'll be back in a minute. Gotta mute. Okay, I think that stopped because I had to put a break in there. Sorry. So what's going on? Let's see. I should do channel update first, but how do you do this? Okay, you'll notice I'm wearing sleeves today. The reason is in jiu-jitsu, I initially got a little bit of something wrong. Dots you guys have seen before, or I've had a bandage over them like that one. Suddenly this one blew up. I swear I did not scratch it open, but lights. So I just don't. The point of this is I don't want to gross you out. But then up here in the elbow area, it's like something else happened that reminds me of when I was a kid. And by the way, Crazy Mad, let's see. I'm plugging in. You say hi to the chat. I ask how you're doing. You're not bad. Just got home. And yes, me too. I just ran in from the gym. And I have news. I have gym news. But there we go. So that's alcohol, by the way. That's isopropyl. So I think one of my teammates changed laundry soaps because this happened to me as a kid a bit, and I'm allergic to it. So I got a little bit of a rash in the elbow, and it's just kind of gross. It's like it's not horrible. It's just gross to look at. So I'm not gonna do that to you guys. So let's see, remove from stream. There we go. And let's see who else has shown up. Nobody yet. That's fine. Oh, I got to change to live chat. That'd be good. There we are. So the good news, I'm just filling in some time before we get to the opening because allegedly that's what you're supposed to do at the beginning of the stream. And I've got another iconic comic shipment. This one's a little bit different. Anyway, the good news is at the gym, I realized I've been way too cautious with leg press. And I can't get my shoulder ratched around because of some of the arthritis in there and something tweaked in it a while ago. So I've been rehabbing my shoulders a bit, and I think that'll work now. So, but without the shoulders pulling back fully, I'm not doing barbell back squats. And so I've been rebuilding. My knees have bugged me, but I'm getting stronger. And I realized tonight, like, I am not doing right on the leg press. Now, there's a guy who apparently has never worked legs because he had an injury when he was a kid. So he's like competing with me now because he sees me what I do on leg press, and we have the same physical therapist. So even though I was in PT for my arm, but whatever. So and he's looking at my number, and he's giving me a number, I forget what it was, and it was like 415 or something like that. And if you know leg press, it's always way bigger than your squat. So 400 is not an impressive leg press. Anyway, and I warm up with we have these 100 wheels. So I warm up with 100 pounds on each side of the press, and I don't count the sled in the press itself. And some people say that's 45 pounds. Okay, fine. So I'm just filling time while people might show up. So that's what warm up is, the 100-pound on one side, and then of course both sides makes 200. So then add a 45, so that's 290, and then I go up from there, and another 45 would be 380, and that was my working weight where I do sets of 10 of that. And I thought, I can do more, and I knew I was going to do more, so I did. I tried a little more. Gainsborough, yes, thank you. I didn't just try a little bit more. Last time I hit 420. I was a little bit angry about something. I kind of started to strain one of my adductors, the like next to the hamstring in here, pulls you together. And when you're squatting, you use those a lot. So I just kept going up every set, and instead of doing 3 working sets at the same weight, I hit 450, and I know that is definitely my working weight now. Like, I could have kept going. So 450 on a leg press, and I'm really happy. It turns out the guy who's racing with me, it's his race, it's not mine, I don't care, but he's trying to catch up to me. And when he was like, then he saw me doing leg press like a week ago, and he's just like, whoa, I didn't think you were doing that much. And he's talking about all the amounts and all that, and it turns out he thought he was way closer to me because when I told him what my number was, I don't count the sled, he does. So that's 45 pounds more distance between us. I don't compete with people in the gym. Anyway, I'm just really happy to have gains, bro. That, yes, I am very happy for that today. So I'm all full of endorphins from exercising. That's the way it goes. Anyway, thanks for coming by tonight. I'm going to get to opening. Let's see. This one's from Iconic Comics. It's going to be a little bit different, and I can open a second one tonight, I think, because I've been getting enough in. I have 10 on the pile. I would open Eric Nieltowski's special order that I made to him, except he asked me to, or he just offhandedly said, let me know when you're doing it. And I said, sure, I will. And I haven't let him know. So, I can't open it. So we're doing this one. I hope the stream time is okay. That actual midnight. I'm trying to get my life organized better. Let's see with this. There we are. Trying to get my life organized better. Not doing well at it. And can't find a good stream time that doesn't interfere with other things I'm trying to do. So I might go back to streaming earlier, but not until I get some good habits down and figure out how I want to get the habits, then figure out how to change them, kind of thing. Here we go. Oh, I should tell Omarosa that I'm streaming tonight, because I discussed my leg press weight with her before. She's a little envious. Okay, yeah, we're good. Nothing doxing in here. So, all right, wait. There's a good spot. Move the camera. Boop. I am going to sleep so heavy tonight because I rolled today, and I'm really not supposed to be rolling and doing heavy lifting on the same night. So I'll microphone of the way. All right. Common America and the priest from, what is that priest name? From Soulfinder. Anyway, there's Black Ops. I just reread the first Black Ops miniseries of 2. It's really well written. All right. Let's see what we got. So what's so different about ordering more? There we are. A little fuzzy. I really need to get over to Best Buy and get a new webcam. I can't remember his name, but is it Max Von something or other? He does a comics channel. I asked him what camera he uses, and it should be a good one. So special about this is a new book that I didn't have before, so we're going to check that out first. Anyway, his camera has a good autofocus on it. I need something like that. Oh yeah, channel business. I meant to do some channel business first. I gave a little bit of an unfair shake to the book last week, and I won't be revisiting all that this week, but Noirlam. And the unfair shake just being I forgot to say a couple of things that would be like constructive criticism, like for the things I didn't find good, how could they be done better? And I meant to do that. So I'm thinking I will do a follow-up video pre-recorded on some of my streams for anything that's really appropriate to say that I forget, like here's how it could be done better, and that those will just be pre-recorded. I'm thinking of making that a regular thing for just forgotten notes from during the stream. Here, so I'll take care of that. I haven't seen this before. This is Soulfinder Warcry, and let's see, never looked at it before. So who's the artist? Doug Ernst, Matt Weldon, and Bill Williams. So I guess that might be the colorist. See if I can read. Letters by Bill Williams. There we go. Front cover by Alejandro Maribel. He's back cover by Jeff Spokes. So here's Jeff Spokes' back cover. Haven't seen this before. Oh, black and white. Okay. I think it's a short book. Mm-hmm. Not sure where this is in the story. I think it's after issue 3. This is odd. Big soldier over a great Roman soldier. Interested in checking this out. It does look short. You're right. That would be Crazy Mad. Crazy Mad. I thought of another book to recommend, and I was like, I got to mention this on the stream. Of course, I can't remember it. Let's see. We got Edwin Raid of the White Leopard. Acevedo. Oh, hey, Edwin. Hail to you too. I'm not used to saying hail. It's kind of not my thing. Let's see. Yeah, if this is the end of it, it is short. Let's see. I'm sending you out like, oh wait, is there one more page? Yeah, there's one more page. Okay, so that's the beginning of a graveyard scene. Yep, this is a shorty. Oh, printer made a little wrinkle there. Happens. I am sending you out like lambs into the midst of wolves, Luke. Although, to be honest, that was more of a theological statement, but still. Yep. Edwin, thanks for joining us. This is cool. I like Matt Weldon's artwork. Yeah, I definitely need a better camera because I want to show off glare. I want to show off one thing that I see here. Which way do I turn that knob? This way. There we go. Whoops. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get it on camera. And it's in here, in the blacked out area, you can see the pen strokes where he filled it. Not like little pullouts or crosshatch or anything like that for shading, but where he took a marker and filled it in. You can see that in this edition. That's really cool. All right. So same stuff all over again. Inside back cover. Let's take a look. We've got some. Matt Weldon does some of these in the back. He is not here. This is from the Resurrection, I guess. This is Matt Weldon's thing. He is risen. I believe they're all Catholic. I'm not, which is kind of where I'm going with this. So you might have noticed that. Oopsies. I got multiple copies. All right. So why do I have multiple copies of books? Is because my mom's Catholic, and my mom is way into. She's older. She's almost 80. So she's way into murder mysteries. That's most of what she reads is murder mysteries. And watches on BBC like murder TV shows, like all of them, and she's into cookbooks. When you put that together, she actually knows of a murder mystery where they included cookbook recipes in the book. So I've tried to make jokes about how her being into murder mysteries and cookbooks makes makes things really interesting to visit for holidays. But she's like, why? And so anyway, so mom's into murder mysteries and cookbooks, but she's Catholic, and I thought that some of the books she reads, like Andrew Green, I think that's his name, or Graham, not Graham Greene, but Graham somebody else who wrote All Creatures Great and Small, like that guy. She was really into those. So when the second Soul Finder came out, I went and got her, or I brought my 2 copies of it. Didn't get her. I brought the 2 copies down for her to pick a cover and check it out. So she checked out the first Soul Finder and kept it, and then that's been around for a while. I might need to show that. And then she picked from the second Soul Finder, of course, the cover I liked, which is the hardcover embossed, and it's all gold foil on the edges and all that, and it's really pretty. So I figured, okay, and she read the second one. She had kind of the same reaction that just some guy did, like it had problems, made it a little hard to follow, too jumpy, like that. And so now I'm buying comics for my mom. that's how it goes. So if you haven't seen it before, hey Edwin, I already greeted you. This is why I'm buying. This is what's so different about this iconic comic shipment, is half of it's for my mom. So, yep, this has been out for a while. In this one, I forget how it all ends up, but it gets metaphysical because, I mean, it's supposed to be, it's a Soul Finder book, but it gets metaphysical fast, and then it's a little bit, oh, look at that. That is nice. Who drew this? I'm going to have to look for a moment. That's Matt Weldon again, yeah. This is a really nice piece. That ship. My dad would like that. Anyway, it gets a little jumpy and towards the middle, and that makes it a little bit hard to follow. So you just kind of have to roll with it. I haven't gone through the analysis in this for all of the how many word balloons there are per page and all that. So these are pretty cool. This is nice. That's a good piece. I like the coloring on this too. The sunken ship in the deep. Make sure I don't get too low or too high there. There we go. So, yeah. Sometimes I do like a little bit of something to really help indicate that it's not a double page spread when the coloring's too similar like this. So that'd be cool. But in this one, they're visiting a haunted ship under the sunken ship. And here's this guy who's preserved. Now, I'm not Catholic, just so you know. Because of that, like, I'm not getting the rosary that Doug Ernst sells on Iconic Comics for my mom, because I'm not into that end of Catholicism, which is really funny because my dad once pulled me aside after I turned Protestant, and he's telling me, well, you don't. He's telling me really quietly, you don't have to take everything in the Catholic Church, like trying to re-Catholicize me. And I'm like, okay, all right, and prayers to the saints wasn't even like my big thing at the time. it was otherwise. I forget what the heck this represents in the story or how this comes up, but somehow we get from these angel spirits and demon spirits to a giant whale that saves him. So, okay. But anyway, conversely, my mom confronted me at one point to tell me her idea of religion, not merely if you're Catholic. It's not a buffet. You can't just pick and choose, like the opposite of my dad. I wonder if I should pause a little bit more on some of these pages. Like, this is interesting. Now he's getting out from under the ship. So there's our priest. There's the guy we just saw getting out from under the ship. And there's one of his fellow soldiers. This is what's going on with them spiritually. So these are good little horror books. So I haven't read the third one yet, and that's what this order was for me, was to get the third book. And I think I got the idea to get floppy or square-bound copies of everything instead of just hardcovers. That's why there's a little bit of redundancy here. So let's see what else we got. Okay. All right. So this is the softcover copy, and this is the hardcover copy. So I'm going to go through. You see, I think this is the standard cover, but I don't remember if there was a hardcover of it. I just don't remember. You can see it on the site. And some nice art. Yeah, I like Matt Weldon's stuff. I really do. Let's see. The hardcover breaking in. So I have not read this at all. I have no idea what it's about. Again, more, more Matt's religious art in the back. Let's just go. Pardon me a moment. And about 10 sheets in the front. So if my mom wants the hardcover, then I'm going to end up with the soft cover. And I know she probably will. She picked the Dave Dorman cover before with where it's embossed and debossed, and that's the one I showed you of number 2. So that's this one. So it's a nice one. We'll just, there we go. Flip to the beginning. It's an interesting thing from animation here to include the swerving around the corner, the streaks of the lights on it, like you might get in film. I saw this a lot in Akira. All right. Opening scene. No idea what's going on here, so we're just going to flip through the art. Again, there's another one of these. They make a nice hardcover over at Iconic. I'm trying to pinch it correctly and not mismatch my pinch, which creates creases and little triangle folds. So we'll dive through that. I think this was in the promos, that shot. I think there's a rhythm to these stories always, that he's cleaning up one mess, there's some personal interaction leading to the next assignment. Kind of like how some movies start. That's interesting. Using the blur. Be interested to see how that looked in just inks, uncolored, and another nice thing they do with their hardcovers is they give you the black and white in the back half. So let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going the right way now. So there's that helicopter scene. There's all of his cross-hatching down there. Takes a bit of time. Okay, so here's how he did it. Here's how with the blurs there. We got, hey, Mo Biggs, you made it. I will forgive you for being late. Not a problem. Hello to you too. So it looks like he did all the blur just with streak lines in the ink. And then, I got to get a better camera, Mo Biggs. I really do. And so in the coloring, it's really dark, so you kind of cover up some of that cross-hatching he does with the dark shadows up here. But then you just paint all the streaks again instead of a photo effect blur. All right, turn a page. So this photo animation effect, it can be interesting, it can be distracting. I think with a different art style, it wouldn't fit. It might not work, but Weldon is realistic enough. I think it fits. Unless you're like J.J. Abrams and you just do lens flares every single page. I'm not late. It's called building suspense. Thank you. Thank you for suspending my my stream. So I don't think Eric Weathers did the lettering on this. I could look. No, Bill Williams. So we will not see the word splort. Okay, you know things are getting supernatural when the coloring goes haywire. It's an old word of my dad's, haywire. Sorry, I don't mean to cover it up too much. So this is nice. I mean, it's a big open space, but this looks well drawn. I think they've got a good sense. Weldon has a good sense of density followed by breathing space. Waiting for it to show up. That's the wrong one. It says, what book is this and why does the creator hate Eric Weathers? Well, this is the third Soul Finder book. And as far as hating Eric Weathers, I can neither confirm nor deny anything. Nice thing about a hardcover is I don't have to pinch the page. I can just, there, hold it to the hardcover. This way. There we go. We're almost there. Yeah, this is bizarre. Nothing solves a demonic alien problem like bullets. I don't think anyone hates Eric Weathers, to be honest. What do you mean, oh, that explains it? Yeah, we're back to dense pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't mind when they split up action like that to show time. Maybe 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I bet we'll have a breather. Probably have a breather single page on the next one. I'm betting. Yeah. There we are. It's a big boom. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a big whom. My favorite word, whom. Anyway. Look at that. That's some nice art. Yeah. I'm going to look for this in the black and white as well. See how much of that was left to the colorist. If I find the right page. Oh, also in the black and white, they do red. They do some red sometimes. It's a lettered black and white, which Nino Towski also does. I like that because you can read it. Have we been here? I go too far? No, here we are. Yeah, so this is how this light version, keep my pinky there. This light version is how, and there's a little bit of crosshatch. What's his name? I've been saying his name. Weldon. How Matt Weldon does the fire and then just leave it up to the colorist for more, apparently. Nice. Flipping through books. Oh, another little bit of channel business is I flipped through Doug Angst. Sometimes. He does get annoyed sometimes with dumb things going on. Anyway, yeah, I did a flip through on a Superman hardcover that came out. And I noticed it was really slow, so I actually cut time out of it. Oh boy. But I did notice on some of my short videos, if they're 12 minutes long, people watch 4 minutes. If they're 8 minutes long, they might watch the whole thing. I'm just looking at the average watch time according to YouTube. And so I think the thing I need to do to strengthen up my videos is make them shorter. And I'm going to try and stick to under 12 minutes for any review I do. We'll just see how it goes. I'll try. So I don't know why they're climbing a mountain, but they are now. There we go. I'm in the middle now. Another big one. Cool. So this is Matt Weldon's art. And I don't want to spoil anything. So yeah, we got five page turns to go. I'll stop there. These are always good adventures. Then, last but not least in this shipment is the crossover that I missed. I won't be doing a page by page on this, but because what's his name? Mo is here, and it's probably going to be very anime-orific. That's nice. Mm-hmm. Very cheesecake. Spread that binding. Oh yeah, there's anime influence in this. I can almost hear Mo screaming in pain. There's some for you. The one thing that kind of I wasn't sure about when I first saw this was the guy from Soul Finder. I forget, Father Renner. I think that's his name. We'll just say Father Renner, or maybe not. His character doesn't transfer to me well in an anime style. Like here, he looks like a teenager to me, and he's more of a serious character than this lets on. So everybody seems to be drawn younger in anime just because of the lack of detail. There we are. So yeah, it's another anime book, Common America book. All right, and of course the bunny is in it. Where's the bunny? Wait, where's the white bunny? Where is he? I don't see him. It's Black Hawk's Common America and Soul Finder, but he camos himself. I think that's a cat. I don't see where the white bunny is. All right, we'll move on. Cool. All right. I did want to. Let's see. Doug Ernst. Here we are. Thanks for the support and kind words, man. I really appreciate it. Volume 4 is on the way. Yes, I hope so. And hopefully my mom will pick the cover I like less, which I haven't even decided which one that is yet. So if you weren't here earlier, Doug, I get these. I'm now buying comics for my mom because of you. So anyway, we got another one. And if you know what that is, you know what's inside. And then I will get to talking about First Man. Uh-oh. There we go. Slice. All these A4 packets, like 1,000 seams in them. I know that's off camera. You can't see what I'm doing. Gotta find it. Hey, Doug, if you're still here, Doug, remember Mo is a heckler. Okay, don't take it personally. Doug, is it true you want to abandon Eric Weathers at a bus stop on a bad side of town, or is that Blue just making that up? Thank you. And Dean just showed up. And I'm gonna say it's true. Okay. What are we unboxing today? We unboxed more anime stuff, and then Soul Finder, and a replacement book for what my mom took from me, and then another book in case my mom takes more from me, and then 2 copies so I get one and she gets one. Yeah, I'm buying comics for my mom now, Dean. JD, not DJ. Hey, Dean. It says, I have a lot of books that are lettered by Eric. He does all of Clint's books. Bill Williams and I are friends. Yeah. I don't care who letters your books as long as they have the word splort in them. And that's why I find I found the lettering a little bit lacking. There was no word splort. Please tell Bill for us. So I'm totally joking. Oh, always double check first for doxery stuff. No. Okay. Just in case. Right. So, Merry Boys. Another Catholic. I just realized it's Catholic night. And Doug knows I'm not Catholic, but thankfully he doesn't let me hold it against him. So, or vice versa. Okay, good. Let's take a peek at these. We have a print. All right. Now, I have to confess my sins because it's Catholic night. I backed Merry Boys 2 on the reputation of Merry Boys 1. I have not read Merry Boys 1. You all can freak out and call me evil now and all that stuff. But I was told it was really good, etc. Piece of tape. Oh my goodness, I feel like my older sister. And by that, I mean at Christmas, and her birthdays were the worst. She would undo every piece of tape. And you learn by mimicking, and she's way older than me, so I learned to do the same freaking thing. Oh, I'm so sorry. I've heard this is good, but I haven't read it either. Okay. Man, what was that other book that was pretty good? Because I'm trying to think of ones that are on IndieGoGo for you. I haven't read Merry Boys because of UK shipping prices, but it looks cool. Okay, cool. So this is Beefheads Part 2. The first one came as 2 different books, and we're doing large. This is like A4 format almost. I think it's close. So I'm going to flip through this a little bit quicker than I did Matt Weldon's stuff. Yeah, not a clue what's going on, other than these are 4 mentally challenged orphans. Whoops, I need to move the camera up a little. Wrong way. Right. And go this way. Yeah, there we are. 4 mentally challenged orphans become thugs to defend a church or something like that. So no offense to the creators if I got it all wrong. All right. I mean, it looks like a funny comic, which I'm told that's its whole purpose, is humor. It smells weird, like printer weird, one of those weird print-smelling books. Any water? For those of you who came late, I ran in from the gym where all my numbers went up, which is good. So I'm kind of drying out. Oops. A little bit more. So what's this? I'm going to read this. Thank you to everyone who mucked in and helped make this book possible. I hope you enjoyed this little excursion into Basham, and that you will join us when we do it again soon. And we bloody will too. I have a funny story about bloody. Thank you also for my loving family and their constant, unwavering support in seeing this through, from Chubb. All right, I gotta look this up. Matthew 10:40 or 34. One moment. All right, now how do I present? Share screen, window. There it is. It came up. Where is it? Why is it black? Oh, it hasn't launched yet. Matthew 10:34. What are you? Dude, Google is faster than this. Cute. It kicked me out. My own software. Share screen. Sure, this is free. It's called eSword. Yep, there we are. Matthew 10:34. Scroll down. What the heck is it supposed to say? Okay, red is Jesus talking. Totally out of context, I'm sure, because there's a lot here. I did not come to. Oh, do not think I came to bring peace, but to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. Okay, and you want to check context on that. He's talking about mostly the government, which is run by Jewish heretics. So there we are. What? I cannot remember that book I was going to suggest for you. Crazy Mad. Making me mad. Anyway, we're going to take a look at Andy Smith's First Man. There we are. And something I almost said just now was going to relate to that. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is the first. No, this is the second one. Back off. This is the First Man. So for a launch, go to. Oh man, that was a resounding no. I heard it was good, but haven't read it either. UK prices. Here we are. Oops. The creators are Brits. They'll be fine. Yep. So because they go to a different church, you get mentally challenged in your eyes. Go to. No, thank you for heckling me on that one. No, that's not why. Just a moment. See if this is relevant. Okay, I'll read that later. Thank you, Doug. I see your DM, and I'm going to have to take care of that later, of course. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Water. I need water. Yes, totally about blasphemy. It's about Paulo, who to the Jews, Apollo was essentially a demon. So if you look back at any of the predictions that Peter, a Christian, makes about the abyss in the future. Apollyon is similar to the name Apollo. They're not the same character, but even Apollo was considered a demon. All right, so a guy died recently named Michael Heiser, and Heisner, no Heiser, no N, and he really went off the edge around 2013, 2014. But prior to that, he had really good information on how to read the Old Testament in culture better, so that you'd understand the Jewish culture a lot better. So if you ever see the stuff about Ezekiel's wheels being about aliens, he totally blows that away. All the weird parts of Ezekiel that people think is about aliens is actually just reference to throne room furniture. And he shows diagrams of what we know of throne room furniture. I see your DM, and I'm going to have to take care of that later. Let me guess. Bring me the head of Eric Weathers. Yes. How did you know? And then I got a DM from Eric Weathers saying, "Bring me the head of Doug Ernst." So I'm out of this one, guys. So, anyway, no, I received no such DMs. But yeah, Mike Heisner, he put together a lot of really cool stuff to help people understand what was going on back then. And it's funny, people thought the Jews were weird because every polytheistic god system had like their main god, like Jupiter, and then they had their envoy, like Hermes. I just mixed Greek and Roman. Sorry, Zeus and Hermes, or Jupiter and Mercury. There we go. Woo! but anyway, the Jews were considered really, really weird because it was Yahweh and the envoy was Yahweh. It's like, what? So, Eric Weathers is Eric Canetti's letter on Arcathena. Yes. So, the Jews were just considered total oddballs because their god was his own envoy, and that was considered strange. So, let's see. Where are we going? I'm waiting for it because this is good. I deserve that. I really do. Anyway, yes, between Doug and Eric, I'm not part of that fight because there is no fight. Anyway, back to this book, First Man. So this book was a little tough for me to read, and it made me almost not get the second book. And then once school fell apart and all that, I'm like, screw it, I'm getting the second book. So if you haven't read it, I have the first two Arcathenas. I hope you won't be upset if I found the lettering top notch. Okay, my problem with Arcathena and why I'm considering not following it up is the overt sexual humor in it actually ruins it, where it could have been a book for kids, except for the alien ejaculating all over the part of the soldiers, his own soldiers, I think it was. And it's like, that kind of ruined it. And it's not that I'm prudish. It's more like, this goes too far, not interested type humor. So if that's prudish to you, fine. But I also really enjoy when a book can be handled by kids, and that's just something I can't handle. I can't hand to a kid now. But oh well. So it's also interesting drawing, and we reviewed it before. The gist of this story totally involves Andy Smith. That's why he's on the first page. No, just kidding. Anyway, this book was so into getting through a lot of the lore, and it became a little hard to understand because our two of our main characters, Penumbra down here, the lady, and the main antagonist who comes out of this giant bar of soap, end up inducing a lot of hallucinations on our oh god, I can't remember his name now. Henry? We'll just call him Henry. I think Henry's his last name, Hank Henry or something like that. But we'll just call him Henry. They induce a lot of hallucinations. So as he's jumping around as a reader, I'm just going, what the hell just happened? So anyway, we don't know how, but after seeing this, thing tumbles towards Earth, turn the page, and this guy is saying, whoa, I've got these powers. We have no idea how he gets his powers. Boom. Kids don't need to learn about the Sonic Coom technique. I have no idea what that is, so I don't need to learn about it either. All right, cool. Anyway, I know what a sonic boom is, but he's musing on having his newfound powers and all that, and then something overtakes him. He loses control of his powers, and he's getting telepathic, my word, messages. We go to a different scene where the bar of soap is now landing at Stonehenge, and here's obviously somebody related to the bar of soap. There's good color connection between things. Throughout the books, things are I think, well colored in that sense, that you can make connections this way. He's getting telepathic messages. Oh, Luke Henry, that's his name. Luke Henry. There we go. Luke Henry is getting telepathic messages from Apollo, who is the original owner of this body somehow. And I'm slipping too far that way. There we go. So, there, I got a whole thought out, so we can go back here. Blue, do you foresee an eventually First Man versus Y, The Last Man crossover? No. I'll just leave it at no. I haven't read Y, The Last Man. Is it any good? Let me know. We're back to Monarch, the guy who came out of the bar of soap. He's looking at Stonehenge. He's planning, and this is where the background scene gets explained. There are 10 essences in the universe, or in this universe. I'm going too far over. I'm just going to carriage return back here. There we go. He dropped the soap at Stonehenge. Yes, that sounds like it's about to get pretty gay. Like, holy cow. Yes. Why is he Y? Is what I'm asking. What happened to Z? Yeah, Z should have been the last man. Okay. Anyway, I haven't read the series. At Stonehenge, where the soap got dropped, this guy is plotting the demise of Earth because he possesses 9 of the essences of the universe, and he wants to rule the universe through all this power, etc. That's the background. The message from Apollo given to Luke Henry was go to the moon. You need to go to the moon because you're going to need help. Big trouble's coming, and that's where he meets Penumbra. Eventually, through this, and this is all world building, so it made it a little hard to read. Luke and Penumbra head down to, or sorry, First Man and Penumbra head down to the bar of soap. They meet up with Monarch, and he starts getting his ass kicked. And from that point, and he gets his ass kicked by basically being an uppity kid who, what happened to Z? TikTok, unfortunately. By being an uppity kid who doesn't know his own limits. That's a big problem. Now, this brings me back to the word bloody that we saw in what's the name of it? Can't think of it. Merry Boys. So some kids, college kids at my church, trying to be, or my old church, sorry, the one that was partially abusive. I have to say partially just to be fair. XY Dean or XXY as the case may be. What happened to Z? TikTok? Yeah, okay, caught up. The kids went to England, and in England, trying to be cool, one of them, I forget why the hell they were in England. Well, one of them, thinking he's cool but isn't, starts using the word bloody in a church, and some little old lady asks him, "Do you cuss in your churches in America?" And he's like, "No, why?" She's like, "Well, then don't come here and cuss in ours." So anyway, young kids trying too hard to be cool is kind of the theme here with this Luke character. So he gets put through the ringer, and from this point on, he starts suffering hallucinations where suddenly he's changing context and doesn't know where he is. And it's their way of picking through his brain to see what he and humanity are about, looking for Apollo and to see why he has these Apollo's body on, basically, and seeing what his weaknesses are, so they can take the final essence from him. All right, I think I'm pushing Blue past his limits of propriety. Time for trusty dad jokes. Why didn't he use the soap to make a clean getaway? Thank you. Anyway, and then what really throws the reader off a bit is we keep jumping, and it made it hard to follow because sometimes I read books when I'm falling asleep, until finally Penumbra, as he realizes that the life he's going through isn't real. So every time he jumps out of one hallucination, he thinks he's finally somewhere real. Some preachers will say damn and hell. Yeah. Some preachers will also say Jesus. Wow. Anyway, so they're just not using those as exclamations. But anyway, so here's another hallucination where it's sort of like going to the astral plane, and he finally gets to meet Apollo. And what I don't understand in this is, we see other flashbacks later, is why Apollo doesn't have his own face here. Why he has the fully costumed face, where notice the costume decorations here aren't, or are they a match? I started looking at these details. Whoops. Well, I went too far, but okay. So here the costume matches how it is on Luke, and then it's the same on Apollo here. But in other contexts, the costume on Apollo is different. The coloring changes shape. So I'm not sure why that was a decision being made. So I won't read into it too hard. Anyway, this was a little bit tough, but it is proper to read across all 9 of these, and he's explaining. So there's a lot of storytelling through exposition on a few pages here, like this double-page spread. By then, I was drawn into the story well enough that exposition didn't bother me. It's not a sin. There won't be any penance. And anyway, here's another hallucination. He gets out of the astral plane meeting where he's not wearing any clothes, and there's a whole bit of humor here for his mother saying, "Why are you screaming in the bathroom?" And she's about to knock on the door and whatnot. And yet again, he's not actually there. It's another hallucination. Finally, we're to where he really is. And so the whole idea of the fight is that these two need to fight each other to get rid of this guy who has 9 essences of the universe, and he has 1. He doesn't know what to do with it, but Apollo is in the body with him. Only Apollo's not in the driver's seat. And finally, working together, somehow there's an energy beam that he can draw Apollo's original essence out of this villain called Monarch, and that wins. But that's not made clear here. So this is why I almost gave up, was things weren't clear. If you haven't hey, thanks, Mo. If you haven't please do. Thanks for the reminder. Okay, because I forgot to. Due to his refusal to wear a lap hijab and when pointing the camera at his crotch. Dang it. Anyway, at least I'm clothed. He's not a pervert. It's a 100% oversight. Yeah, thank you very much. So the battle's over. The reader kind of doesn't know what happens, and he goes home asleep. And then finally, you get the real explanation of the background of how Apollo, the handsome, ruddy man here, lost his powers. And because we're told earlier that he gave them up to survive. And in reality, it was a ruse, that he somehow could give up the essence of the universe one way, but use that to find where the 10th essence, because he was the 9th, find where the 10th essence of the universe was, put his own essence where that was to help whoever has the last essence defend against Monarch, and the plan worked. Oh, okay. So after all of this mind-numbing, I don't know what's going on, we do find out what's going on. I say mind-numbing because, again, sometimes I read books when I'm going to bed and falling asleep. So I don't mean to slight Mr. Smith there. It is actually a really cool idea. It's not linear, which is okay. It did lose me a bit here and there because I read it in segments, but maybe that's the problem, is don't read a book like this in segments. And Penumbra now has her husband back in the body of Monarch, not in his own body, but she got the guy back. So there's that. Okay, that's the original First Man. Oh, and we get a little insight on the last page telling us... So you don't mind this guy spreading his essence around, but in Arc Athena, it's a problem. Dude, good catch. We do see what could be the opening scene of suddenly this thing just comes into Luke's window and gives him the superhero body. All right, so there's that. Really quickly summarized. So, but I said, why do I like the book in my promo tweet? Something like a promo tweet. I did, on the first campaign, get the little program book. It's mostly just preliminary sketches and inks. That's all. Centerfold nicely. What's really funny to me, by the way, is because of Bart Sears' influence, Andy Smith has a reputation for drawing what appear to be long torsos. So one time I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. And it actually is totally proportional and proper and all that. But for whatever reason, they just look really long. There's a trainer on Twitter, Dean Turner Training, or Dean T Training, I think is his Twitter handle. But Dean Turner Training is his website. You can actually get a free program there. And it's very basic and safe, so it's a good starter program. Dean Turner Training. Anyway, and he's built like this. Like he has this weirdly long-looking torso thing because he's so slender. But he's huge like that too. So yes, I did get the program book. Now, check the chat. He's not a pervert. What do we got here? Yeah, we read that. Okay, cool. Take a breath because I feel like I've been talking forever. I refuse to wear a lap hijab, right? Oh, there was a lettering trick in the first volume of First Man that worked really well. If I find what page it was on, and it's lettering in the wrong direction, but it works. I want to point that out. Yes, it's right here. So the eyes are drawn, reading across, and before we do the carriage return thing, we're reading across, she yells Apollo, and as we're coming back here, we read, I'll kill you first, and then he replies. So it breaks, for this panel, it breaks the whole left to right, then top to bottom down. Notice left to right's the proper way, Mo. But it works because it's between the panels, etc. So this little lettering sin actually works. In the next book, put that one down, there is an error in the lettering. And it makes it hard to read on a crowded panel. So whoever, here we go. Whoever these people are, we're reading this reply, that reply, that reply, and then it looks like you go here and then there, but it's the top to bottom first, and then you have to backtrack. And it's a very crowded panel is the whole reason. So, hey, I found a mistake. And I think Vault Kobold said, I don't know what you're referring to. Anyway, Vault Kobold mentioned that if you can't find something wrong with a book, but you give it all praise, then it's not really a genuine review. So fine, I found a problem. There you go. All right. So this was, the first volume was all a setup. We got the whole world built. It was a solid story. It made sense in the end. It was difficult to get through on the first read because I read it in pieces. I don't think it's meant to be read in pieces, but the characters all make sense and they're whole. And wow, Luke is a dork. So as dorks would be in this book, and I'm not going to hit every detail. I'm actually going to go through this way faster in terms of summarizing. Luke's flying around. He's trying to be a superhero. He's an absolute klutz. He sucks. He downs a plane because he thinks it's burning, and it's actually a skywriting plane. That's the opening. And who are these shadowy figures watching him? He tries to help things. For his dad, he's finally trimming the hedges because he never obeyed his dad and trimmed the hedges. And he starts setting fire to them because his power does that. So his dad has to put the fire out. But his dad encourages him to, there are people trying to get a hold of him on TV. There's an announcement that a local corporation up here wants to get a hold of First Man and talk to him. So his dad encourages him, get over there, see what they want. So he goes over there, tries too hard at sounding official, and they catch it right away. They're like, why is he talking like that? Why are you speaking weirdly? So they go through and they want to study him because for the government, to sell to the government, they are going to, Biggs? Okay. You were the one who brought up reading right to left. I know you hate it. So, probably our greatest error during the occupation of Japan after World War II was not sharing our knowledge that books are read left to right and top to bottom. Correct. Although traditional Japanese is top to bottom and then right to left. Like what? So it's vertical. Anyway, so they are wanting to study him in order to help put together an automaton as a weapon to sell to the government. And he says, sure. And they want to run some tests on him and test his power if he blasts the box. And he's way too anxious to help them out. Now, here's what makes this a good book. On this page, he gets back. He's all excited. He thinks, wow, he's all full of himself. Wow, they thought I was so cool. And his dad tells him, and this is the whole book right here. That's great, Luke. It really is. But keep your wits about you, son. You really don't know these people or what they want. I got this, Dad. Don't worry. Just be careful, son. You've got a lot of power. That's good night, Dad. And Dad thinks I'm just a dumb kid who doesn't know what I can do. What the First Man can do. Oh, I got a message from the girl he's trying to impress. So the whole thing from the beginning of the first book was, will these powers help me get chicks? That's basically it. He wants a girlfriend. So we go on with more of him not doing well as a superhero. Meanwhile, we flip back to Penumbra, who's having relational problems now. because her husband is now like hooked into, I'm in a weird body, it's not my body. He's really letting himself go here. and because he's not in his own body, it's affecting him mentally, and he's actually getting violent with her. It's not good. Back on Earth, they've created the automaton to be to overpower him. They basically just wanted to steal his powers and inject them into their machine, create something bigger than he was able to be. This gets out of control in several ways. There are some evil intent. It's been a while since I read this, so I am flipping through. I'm going to breeze through this because the real point of the book that impressed me, that I liked, wasn't just after they heal him up after the test. That's what's going on here. The realization of evil. There's a lot of evil shown. They kill their own people and don't care. It's really evil, but it's what Luke goes through in terms of learning. That this reminds me of what Spider-Man could be or should be. And yeah, they do finally solve the problem and whatnot. But in the end, okay, there's a foreshadowing of more problems going on with Apollo, who's now stuck in Monarch's body. But in the end, Luke really learns a lesson, and it comes to a close. And there's a lot said here about mercy, or what it is to be human. And this closing page is really the key, back to the dad, the Uncle Ben figure. So I think one of the good things that Andy Smith is doing with his First Man title is it's not an imitation of Spider-Man. It's not an imitation of several other titles that came to me earlier. They're not coming to me right now. It's that this is a whole book. It's a whole story. Kids can handle it. It's kid accessible for the most part. I'm just going to leave that. Oh, wait, I skipped one. Oop, this one. Why are you glossing over the only part where they meet? They meet Silverhawks. The hell are Silverhawks? Did you read this book? You mean that guy? I'm glossing over it because I feel like I've talked forever. Actually, you know what? Just because it's Andy Smith, we should look at the art a little bit like I do on the other books. I'm going to leave that up in a minute. But yeah, Andy Smith's art, very skilled. So parallelisms, reflection, things like that, perspective, it all fits, it all makes sense. We have another flashback to Apollo and Luke talking, and Luke's father is there. So these aren't just adventure stories, they mean something. I think one of the worst things going on with postmodernism is trying to show that your evil really has a sympathetic background to it, that it's really okay because we can feel bad for you in some way. And really it's no, don't repay evil for evil. It's very difficult at times to do the right thing, especially in responding to somebody else doing the wrong thing. I've struggled with that. It's just part of growing up. And here, he really does learn just how cringy of a kid he is. And he learns not to trust people too quickly in this. That's what comes out of the end after he defeats, Big Silver Man here. So anyway, I'm going to leave that right there. So yeah, I liked First Man. It's a complete story. It has places to go. It's a flexible character. This is going to go somewhere. Yeah, really appreciated what Andy Smith was trying to do, and it's kid. I think it's kid accessible. Some of the adult relationship stuff might go over kids' heads a little bit, but it is child accessible. I think. Give it to a 9-year-old maybe or a 10-year-old, and they'll get it, no problem. There is more, to me. If I read this when I was like 8, this would have been a giant tome. I was accustomed to the Spider-Mans from Electric Company. So there's that. And there's a little bit of time. There we go. Looking at the chat. I'm trying to keep an eye on you guys. Some other book I recommend that I won't go through in detail like that. Let's see. We've looked at a lot of books tonight. This one you can get digital. I think you can get the first book for free. It's called Dirk Brody, and it's by a guy. I asked him once if I could promote him using the Comicsgate hashtag back when Comicsgate referred to a certain shared set of values, and he said no. And to be honest, I don't blame him. It doesn't matter what wrong information he had at the time. I think it was pretty smart of him to say no at the time, considering I'm not Comicsgate, because I don't pay fealty to a central personality cult, or clique. Sorry, not cult, clique. A central personality clique, which becomes like a personality cult if you think about it, but we don't need to go there. I'm just going to say this was a good book anyway. So this first title here, Dirk Brody and the Sunken Island of Gold, I think you can read it on your own online. He does his own drawing and coloring. We can look at a lot of this. Here's one of those progress pages where you follow them down almost like a Family Circus cartoon, if you've ever seen those when Bill Keane used to be alive. Puts a lot of effort into these and doesn't get enough credit. I put a link to his website in the chat, or not in the chat, in the description. Show more. Let's see, we got Andy Smith's campaign. I need to put Andy Smith's website in here, not just his campaign. But Sean Hall is on Twitter. Copy, paste. Plucky Luke. Paste. There we go. I don't know what Plucky Luke refers to. I'm missing something. Anyway, Sean puts a lot of effort into these. These are actually good stories. They're not geared towards adults in particular. They're all ages in the sense that everyone can enjoy them. I think they're well drawn. I mean, look at this. And he colors his own. He does a lot of this coloring where it's determined by lighting and mood. So everything will be a red like this with yellows and orange highlights. And then as we trade caves and get to a different part of the cave, or we're outside at night, he'll change colorings like this. Whoops. Whoa. And so these are books I recommend. I got the hard copies on Arithmeric, and you can find where to get hard copies or digital copies from his website, which I just put in the chat, and it's in the video description. So just wanted to show him off a bit. So this is his first book. And then he's got a different title that's not Dirk Brody, but is somebody else. I haven't picked that up yet. I'll show you why in a bit. I finally bought his books. This is Empire of the Moon. It goes for 7 parts. So, and then after that, you'll see more information on his website. Oh, come on, pop out. One of the books I got from Arithmeric, because these are print on demand. Sorry. They're barely larger than standard comic books, so they're a little tight in the sleeve. And then this is his third series. I don't know if this is a one part or not. I stopped. I got a whole bunch at once, read them, and then said, okay, I'm going to wait till it gets 5 more. It reminds me of a Nick Jr. version of Lucky Luke. Huh. I actually don't know what Lucky Luke is. Sorry, flaunting my ignorance here. But Arithmeric there, they do print on demand. One of the 9 that I got all at once had like a little bit of trim problem on it. It happens every so often with print on demand. This is one I haven't read yet. I was waiting to see if there were more parts to it. I haven't looked in a while. So, but he finished the Empire of the Moon, or Lost Empire of the Moon series, and then moved on to, was it Cursed Eye of Mon Mithras? Yeah. So anyway, I'm just going to pick randomly number 3 here out of 7. Look at it. So they're underground again. They're spelunkling. The main character is not an allegory for the writer. This isn't Sean. And then that's not his son. It's not like when Mark Bolton made a couple of those really cool books too for kids. Dagnabbit. Okay, I'm going to look that up later and feel stupid, and I'll probably know what this is. So different parts of the cave give different lighting. There is another explorer. He's kind of an Indiana Jones type, but a little bit, trying to stand up straighter than he really should. He's not as awesome as he thinks he is, and she can see through it. They have a prior relationship. A lot of adventure going on. So I strongly recommend it. Yeah, I think this is a really good one. And yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't promote him sooner, but here he is now. His name's Sean Hall. He's a nice guy. He's very passionate about doing his work too, and sometimes he'll tweet like, you know, he's tired or he's frustrated with a particular piece or page or something like that. So this is really cool. I like that. Anyway, that's what I had in mind for tonight, was just to show these things off. So thanks for joining me, guys. Let's see. I'm also getting, what do we got here? I'm also getting some non-racist white-faced dick vibes from this. Oh, jeez. Yeah, this isn't scary at all. No, that's not creepy. that's from the new one. All right, I gotta find the closing. Hope I've been positive enough. I really don't. I didn't examine the First Man series for any flaws beyond what I already found. You know, I wasn't really looking for them, and so I probably won't have to do a follow-up for this stream because I think I've said everything there is to say. Thanks for joining me. We're gonna throw on, let's see, video file. I think it's on the desktop. Where are we? Desktop. Find videos. Hail Blue, hail the chat. Thank you. And yeah. Dude, okay, here we go. Yeah, the ADHD has been just rough this week. I'm trying to get my life all scheduled out. Trying to get some good habits before I change my schedule. If I do change time again, you guys will know, but sorry, mouth noises are kind of gross on the microphone. Sorry about that. But if I do change times again, first I'm just going to try and make something consistent and then change time a day before I change the show time. And watch this, next week there'll be some gigantic reason why I should stream earlier and go to the gym later and stuff like that. But I appreciate y'all being here. Hope y'all have a good night's sleep. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And how do I get me out of here?